Now in its 10th year, this is GabNet. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Hey, everybody. This is Alex. We're live from Harlem in New York, and this is the Ramble. Hello, everybody. Here we are on the line to California. Yes, of course, we're talking with Larry Bowles Brown. Hello, Larry. Yay.
God, we're how many miles apart? 3,000?
3,000, I think, something like that. Almost to the mile. Yeah. And we just, if we had video on you, you'd look like you were next door. You know, it's amazing. It's just amazing. Except I bought a new phone this week. Oh, excuse me, I don't want to tell you about that because when's the last time you bought a new phone?
When my flip phone broke last year.
Oh, I see. And what did you replace it with? An iPhone with all the gimmicks and all the video and the high speed internet info. You're zooming your friends. You're talking with your friends by Zoom on this. What kind of phone did you get?
The same model that broke. I got another flip. The guy at T-Mobile is going, well, we're going to add $4 a month to your bill.
Did he say that? Really?
Yeah. Yes.
Why? Because you were paying for it by monthly or something?
Yeah.
Oh, boy. You're amazing, Larry. You just amaze the living crap out of me.
I'm a Luddite.
Well, I bought a new iPhone this week. First one in 3 years. That's a long time for me, you know. Usually 2 years comes along, I'm getting the new one, right? So
you have to get used to all the new stuff on there and everything?
Well, I wish there were a lot of new stuff on there. Unfortunately, there isn't. You know, there is not a lot of new stuff, so I don't know what to tell you, you know.
I'm trying to think. I remember you were one of the first people I knew that had a cell phone.
Really? Yeah, I guess I would have been. Well, I had a, let's see, when did I get my first cell phone? I can't remember. I think it was one of those Motorola's, you know. And then what you saw with me probably was my car phone.
That was it, yeah.
I had a car phone, yeah. Yeah, those were in the days, folks, where you had car phones, but they were a little different.
They had those. Didn't they have those as far back as the 70s?
Did they have them as far back as the 70s? They always had car phones. Went back. God, I remember the first time I saw a car phone. I was in Hawaii, and a guy there at the radio station, had a car phone, and what it was you remember those little princess phones?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a princess phone anchored to the dashboard, and then it went back to this huge, big, giant thing that was like a transmitter, and then it went to this huge antenna that was on the car. That's when I first saw a car phone, and I realized at that point car phones weren't practical. Okay? But technology's come along now, and if you buy any phone, it's a car phone, you know?
Right.
You can run it in the car at home. You can take it with you to Europe. You can go anything with it. But anyway, so I decided, you know, it was time because Marjorie and my battery was running low, all right? Now, I could either go in and have the battery replaced. That's a pretty easy deal. Or I could buy a new phone. And I think it was time to get a new phone. Because, you know, after 3 years, how much have they improved? Right?
Right.
Not much. You know,
They're pretty much the same, right?
well, for basic usage, it's pretty much the same. It looks a little different because the lettering is nicer and brighter, and the screen is brighter. But it also runs faster. That I noticed too. But the enhancements to the machine, the phone from the one I had 3 years ago, were somewhat negligible. They were only in electronics, in the speed at which it would do it, and the kind of processor they had in the phone. You don't know any of these things, but basically, it's a faster phone. But outside of that, nothing. And then they say, this is the new iPhone with AI. It's like, do you remember, when you were younger, do you remember chlorophyll?
I thought it was in gum or something.
Yeah. Chlorophyll. What it was there was this theory, and it was a kind of a stupid theory, that sheep never had bad breath. And they tried to figure out, why do sheep not have bad breath? I don't know who went around smelling sheep's breath, but... And it turned out they felt the reason was because of the green grass they were eating, which contained chlorophyll. So they put chlorophyll in gum. You remember that? And then
I remember it was being in gum, yeah.
And then they put chlorophyll in mouthwash. And finally, I remember chlorophyll insoles for your shoes, so your feet wouldn't stink. All right?
Ugh.
Everything had chlorophyll. Now with chlorophyll, this with chlorophyll, that with chlorophyll. And so it's the same thing with AI. Now with AI, this with AI, that has AI, and none of them really have AI. We've been using AI for years now, and you didn't know it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when you go to your television set, I've actually had a discussion with people in a room during lunch. They come over to the house and we talk about something. And then I will turn on the TV set and I will go to YouTube, and the first video there is about what we were talking about.
I've heard that. I haven't seen it in my experience.
Yeah, but you know what it was? It was AI. Because I have not Zooms, but Alexas all over this house, right? And apparently, it's listening to me. I'm talking to you right now, and it's listening to every word I say.
Don't you find that creepy?
I really don't. It doesn't bother me in the least. I keep quoting your line to everybody when we discuss this subject. Go ahead, steal my life, Go ahead, steal my identity. Then you'll have no life at all. Your line, okay? And it's true. I mean, really, what can they do to me, I mean, how badly can they steal my identity? I've got my bank accounts locked in so nobody can go in and get that money. And if they try and charge something to any one of my accounts, I simply call the person it was charged to and say, remove that. I didn't order it. It was my stolen identity. And then I just simply change my password. Big deal,
Well, it just seems like it's like being spied on by Hal.
Well, there's no way you can be spied on. You don't have an Alexa, do you?
No.
No?
I don't think the flip phone can spy on me. I'm not sure.
Well, there's probably some level of it, but But the new phone I got, I mean, for crying out loud, this thing, but they say now with AI, and the truth of the matter is, it doesn't have AI, because AI is contained in programs which are then put into the phone, and currently Apple has not yet released their AI to the phones. So to advertise that it now has AI or is AI capable is wonderful, but the fact is it's a lie, because they don't have the programs yet to take advantage of AI. So, But AI, everything's AI this, AI that. AI will replace us. I don't care. I'm going to be dead in a couple of years anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So are you.
How much does this phone cost?
Okay. You ready? So I
Over
have to trade in my old phone, which they give me a certain amount of money for. And then I have AARP, so $10 is taken off or something like that. One thing and another, wound up my new phone cost me $10.
Holy shit.
But that's because they have all these programs. I've got to stick with my AT&T for 3 years in order to get the full value out of that and get it for that price. But, if I do it earlier, they then penalize me and things like that. So, But that's how cheap they get. They're just deals to get you to get into the AT&T universe, which I've been in forever, which is a complete waste of time. Are you ready for this?
So,
well, go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, what were you going to say?
No, but when you trade in your old phone, though, don't you have a bunch of information on your old phone, or can you wipe that
he
off?
wipes it clean. The guy at the store wipes it clean. Or I can do it at home myself. It's very simple.
Okay.
You just go into the phone, go reset, and it completely erases everything that's on the phone. But hopefully all your information is on the cloud, so that's how you put it into the new phone. You get me?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've heard of it.
Basically. Now, the cloud worries me, because it's got all my information.
Exactly.
And what happens if the cloud goes bad and I lose every bit of information I have? I'm sure they have redundancy. By the way, there's no such thing. It's not a cloud. It's not up in the air. I always point to the air when I say the cloud. I should be pointing sideways to, like, Pennsylvania,
Yeah.
where they have these a lot of computers that hold a lot of information. And that's what the cloud is. So. But anyway, so, you can. I don't know if you can get a phone for, $10 because you don't have one to trade in.
No.
And that's a deal that AT&T has. If I trade in with Apple, okay, they'll give me maybe $300, $400 for my phone. Here they gave me $1,000 for my phone. But I have to keep the AT&T service for 3 years. Otherwise, they prorate it and then they charge it back to me. And But now I then had to get my Apple Watch that Marjorie had to get cellular service because it wasn't getting cellular service now when we changed. So I had to call up AT&T, and they said, "Well, you have to call back tomorrow or something." For some reason, they didn't have the information yet. And I then decide, well, I've got to do something to get this cell working, and I call on a Sunday to AT&T to what do you call it? Consumer tech, consumer whatever. And guess what? And I've never heard of this before because I've called a lot of companies on Sunday, and you do get technical support. That was the word I was looking for, technical support.
Mm-hmm.
I call on Sunday, and they say, "Sorry, we're closed on Sundays." What? I can't. My phone just broke. I need my phone working right now, but your your tech support they're not open on Sundays? Are you out of your mind? So I don't know. It was quite an adventure. Oh, and then I was getting a thing called HBO Max, or Max as it's called now, for free because I had AT&T, right? As soon as I went to the new program, that disappeared. I had to start paying for it.
Wow.
Yeah. So, quite an adventure. And then I go to the guy who's doing my phones, and we're buying the phones from and so on. We've done it for years. And he always upsells me something at the last minute there. You need this, you need that. He puts a case on my phone. I didn't even ask him to do it, but of course that's like $50. And one on hers, that's another $50. So there's 100 right there. And then he says, you should get this little thing. It's just you clip it right to the back of the phone, and it will give you power for another 10 hours or something. And I go, okay, I'll take it. All right. Then he says, we got these new things for the side of your bed where you put your phone on it here, and it charges. And it also gives you information like time and blah, 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 blah. And I go, okay, we'll take 2 of those. So there's another $200. And then, you're going to Europe? You need an adapter. Okay, we need an adapter. Oh, hey, let's get that hub that I can use to plug 4 devices into it at one time. Okay, but we'll give you that. Finally, I leave the store. I paid $1,000 for all the upselling he did to me.
That's worse than a car sale.
Yeah, well, screw this, okay? Screw all this technology. I'm coming over to live with you, and we can just sit in the corner and suck our thumbs, No, you're right. You're absolutely right. I'm sure of it. You're so off the grid, they'll never find you, even when you die,
Yeah, I want to be like Ted Kaczynski.
Well, you are off the grid. You don't have a cell phone that is a smartphone, okay? You don't have...
I'm sure doesn't this thing ping off all the towers, and so I'm sure I'm followed.
I don't think that phone is that capable of doing all the dangerous things it's supposed to do, okay? That's bullshit. I think your phone, you're pretty much off the grid. I mean,
I like that.
More so than I am. I mean, you don't have high-speed internet. The only internet you have is the kind of internet you can use through your phone jack. Okay, it's all you're off the grid. You're really off the grid, and I think you're probably right to do so. No, I mean, you remember me in technology. Come on, do you know anybody who enjoyed technology more than me? Because
you were the first person I knew that had an email account.
Yeah, well, I mean, the fact is, when I was a kid, my favorite kind of movies was science fiction. Okay? I remember my first favorite movie that I ever saw. I mean, my parents took me to see Snow White and crap like that. But the one that really got to me was a picture called Destination Moon, which was produced by a guy by the name of George Pal, and it was about a very, at that time, realistic trip to the moon. And I love that. And I loved everything science fiction because this was going to be the world of the future. And I lived long enough that I look out my window and we built all these pencil buildings and so on and so forth. And I look at the skyline of New York and I look at my iPhone and I look at my computers and I say, I'm living in that world of the future I dreamed of. Now, is it wonderful? Is it good? No, it sucks. And
it was a disappointment.
It's not like I'm a Luddite. This sucks. What happens is the human race is so flawed that anything it invents, it will use for the worst possible thing it can do.
Good point. Yes.
I mean, on your phone, I have to ask you, this is interesting. On your phone, do you get robocalls?
I get robo texts sometimes.
Texts. Okay, but you don't get robocalls.
No, I haven't yet, no.
That's how much off the grid you are, because you should be getting, here we get at least 3-4 robocalls a day. Some people, for other people, it's even worse, I have certain programs that take me off that grid and prevent them from calling me. I just subscribe to a new one, and I don't think I've gotten a robocall in a couple of days. But robocalls are a good example of taking the technology and using it for the worst possible thing you can. And I just think the human race, if they invent something that could be used for good, they will find a way to use it for bad. And then be using it more for bad than for good. And that's what's happened with computers today. That's what's happened with the internet, you know? I mean, when you were growing up, was there ever a possibility of identity theft?
No, never heard of it, no.
No, never heard of it. You didn't hear of it till computers made it possible.
Right, that's a good, yeah.
So, you know, you can go out there, folks, oh, Alex is just a Luddite. No, if you came into this room right now, you would see every piece of up-to-date tech, okay? Because that's the way I am. But I don't think it's good. I just think everything's gone to crap because of it. You know, because of the internet, we are more divided as a country than we ever have been. And it's because of the internet. It's because of...
I think that's true. I was thinking about the early 90s, and I don't remember people being so politically, like, insane. And I think it's because of the internet and all these social sites.
Well, there have been times in history where I hated the Republicans, you know, during Reagan, just absolutely hated the Republicans. But I didn't feel a feeling that they were a disgusting bunch of people. They just didn't think like I did. And what's happened now is we are so divided that it's ridiculous. And we're divided precisely because people are on the internet. And they get this wrong information, and they don't... I mean, I have to say, the average American right now has no idea what Kamala Harris is like or what Donald Trump is like. They only know what they read.
Right.
And half that stuff are lies out there. It's not vetted. Nobody's out there saying you can't do this on the internet because it's a lie. You know, so I don't know. Am I getting to be an old 84-year-old curmudgeon?
Paints a grim picture.
Yeah, well, of course you're the same thing. So what the hell?
Well, God, I'd heard of George Pal. I'd never heard of that one movie you mentioned, so I'd like to see that one. Destination
Mood. It's a very. It was, I think, inspired by there was an artist back in those days named Chesley Bonestell, who drew pictures of what it would like to be on Mars, of what it's like on the surface of the moon, you know, whatever. And he was a great futurist artist, and he did a lot of books with another guy by the name of Willie Ley, who was a scientist. And he wrote these books about futurism and so on and so forth. And then they made this movie, Destination Moon, and they used Chesley Bonestell to do some of the artwork, and I think Willie Ley helped write it. And so it was the most accurate description of what it would be like to go to the moon at that time. It hasn't turned out that way now. It all looks different. But at that time, this was their concept of how you build a rocket, send it up, and land it on the moon. And
so this is in the 50s.
Yeah, it's called Destination Moon. It's a great picture. It's a great picture.
Well, what was the George Pal? I know I saw one of his movies. What were the other ones?
Oh, well, he did things like The Time Machine. He did.
Okay, that was the one I saw.
Yeah, Time Machine. He did his follow-up to Destination Moon was When Worlds Collide, which was, about a planet coming and crashing into the Earth, basically. And he did a lot of special effects pictures. Before that, you know what he did before that? Do you remember Puppetoons?
No.
These were like animated little wooden characters, and they would do whole films on them, and he would animate them. And that was his big deal coming into this country, were the Puppetoons. And he used that technology to then do special effects. So at the time, he was kind of the master of special effects. Even if War of the Worlds is another one he did.
Oh, that was a great movie.
Yeah, and he was just great at doing, visual effects. But time has passed them by, and if you go back and look at them, they look rather rinky-dink. But
Yeah, really.
yeah. Hey, listen, we've run out of time here, my friend. Once again, our get-together has lapsed, as it were.
When worlds collide.
When worlds collide, yes, it has lapsed.
Was a phrase that George Costanza used.
Okay, well, listen, let's talk in a couple of weeks because I'm going on vacation.
Yes, we'll talk and we'll have a new president, maybe.
Who knows? Talk to you. We'll have a new president either way.
Yes, we will.
Ladies and gentlemen, Larry Bubbles Brown. Thanks, Larry.
Bye-bye, Alex.
Now in its 10th year, this is GabNet. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Well, there he is, Larry Bubbles Brown. Let me turn on my lights here. There we go. Turn on my light. Yep, okay, all right. Nobody's here except for Jeffrey Stein, who doesn't have usually much to say, so there's nobody here. Huh, well, I could just call it quits, I think. Yeah, I think I will. I'll tell you why. Because I don't need to. Because what's her name isn't here tonight. Amy Manuel isn't here tonight. So I don't have to keep going until midnight Eastern. So if you don't feel like calling, then I don't feel like taking calls. Period. That's it. Anyway, just a few things that I want to impart to you. Let me see. There are some people here now, but who are they? Let me see here. Okay, yeah, okay. And we got some people here. Okay, we got them. Got some starting here. Okay. All right, let me see here. Let me just bring these people all in. Geez, I can't get out of here early, can I? You just won't let me. Okay, here we go. There we go. They're slowly coming into play here. Oh, and Tom Yamaguchi is here as well tonight. Oh, well, I guess it's better. And Brian, we haven't seen you in a couple of days, but it's good to see you now. How are you, Brian?
Doing good.
Okay.
Life is good.
Tom Yamaguchi, good to see you again.
Mm-hmm.
And Charlie, good to see you. And Jeff, and and Alan. And Alan. Okay. All right. So, so how are you all doing? How are you all feeling about the upcoming? You know what I hate is when they say it's election day. I'm sorry. Shouldn't we just say it's election period?
Election month. Yeah.
Election month. Something like that. Mark Thorner's joining us. Hey, it's good to have Mark here too.
Hey, Mark.
Yeah, there he is. Oh boy. Yeah. And, I don't know what to say. We're coming up on it, and I was getting depressed tonight. I was kind of deciding that I don't think Kamala's going to do it.
No, I disagree, but that's life.
Well, I mean, you disagree.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, tell me why you disagree.
I disagree because I think women are going to vote his ass out.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's hope that's true. Okay? Let's hope that's true. I think that, there's a chance that these polls are wrong because the polls have skewed themselves towards Trump.
Yep.
Because in the past, they've been wrong where Trump is concerned. So they don't want to take any chances. So they're just evening it all out. It's a toss-up, right?
Trump thinks he's going to lose.
Trump thinks he's going to lose? How do you know that?
Because he's already suing Pennsylvania for, mismanagement of the ballots.
Yeah. Okay.
Last time he waited till after the election to do that.
Yeah.
Well, that's only because he doesn't want to let any grass grow under his feet.
Yeah, be ahead of the game.
Yeah, what happens if he wins? Is he then going to say, okay, we don't need to go and poll,
I guess maybe
Yeah,
Kamala
that's what he
can
did in
do
2016.
Yep.
Oh,
It was a whole bogus election. They were cheating, blah, 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 blah. Oh, I guess the election was okay after all. There was no cheating.
well, I'm getting ready to not come back from my vacation. I mean, or if I come back, it's just going to be to get my toothbrush, because quite frankly, if this country votes for Donald Trump, I'm sorry, I just have given up entirely on this country. Yes, I know that 50% of the people didn't vote for him, but I mean, the fact that this guy's even got a chance. I mean, last night with with Sean Hannity, whether it was Tucker Carlson, yeah, Tucker Carlson, he was calling for literally shooting Liz Cheney.
Yeah.
Okay. What's
What?
that?
Brian.
The 9-year-old.
Oh.
Well,
Oh.
you got a 9-year-old, I see.
Sorry, Dr. Tobias, yes.
What did she say? What did she
Exactly.
What did she? Oh, exactly. She didn't say anything. Okay.
Her own language. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
They put on mute.
Yeah. Anyway, I mean, here he is. If not saying I'm going to shoot Liz Cheney, he was talking about pointing guns at her and shooting her in the face. All right, that's how he put it.
He was talking about a firing squad.
That's what he was talking about, yeah.
Yeah.
How come Trump hasn't brought up Nikki Haley? I think Charlie's right. I think women are going to take over. Trump hasn't brought any women into his inner circle in this thing. He
But
should.
like I said before, why is it taking the women now? Grab them by the,
Yeah.
Well, because
the rape charges, all this stuff as a woman, and now you're going to finally do this? Come on.
because of Roe v. Wade. It wasn't until 2 years ago Roe v. Wade got reversed.
That's right.
That was the final straw.
Well,
Yeah, we'll see.
I mean, you say that women are going to do it, and I'm hoping that's true, but I don't know that that's going to happen,
Find out. Well, we probably won't find out Tuesday. It'll probably be a week or two after that we'll find out.
Oh, you mean I have to come back and then decide to leave?
Yeah,
But you know what he's doing also right now? He's on this, I don't know what podcast or what that was on. Did you see that? And then he's talking about how many points he's up in polls. He says he's up 9% in polls and then like 50% in polls. He's trying to put this narrative that he's so far ahead in he's ahead in every single poll. So if he starts losing, he's going to say that's impossible because all those polls, I was ahead in all these polls already.
Well,
How's this changing?
he's not ahead in every single poll. There are
I know.
There are polls where he's ahead, like 8%, 9%, but those are the polls that we never trust.
yeah.
Right.
Okay, and I'm trying to remember what they are now. But they don't seem to have any bearing. Let me just do something here. Yeah, go ahead.
But what I mean is he keeps saying that he's ahead in all these polls. So then if it comes out and he's losing, he's going to say, "Oh, how could this be? This is fixed. Something else happened because I was ahead in all these polls and now I lose? No, something's wrong."
Well, she is ahead in the national polls, taken all together. It's by a very small amount. It's 1.3%. But they keep saying, "Oh, it's that's within the margin of error." Well, the margin of error used to be 3%. Now it's 5%, because those people who take the polls don't want to look like assholes when they're wrong. Okay. I mean, she at one point she was a lot higher. He was at 45%, she was at 48%. But things do change, I don't understand it. Look, my point is, let's say she wins. Do you realize how many people wanted this guy to be president?
I know.
I mean, can you really feel safe in this country with that kind of mentality?
No.
And how long are we going to be able to keep those people at bay before they finally predominate in this country? And basically, we don't have a democracy any longer. You know, I mean, this is just, it's so sad. You look like you agreed with me, Mark, that, you know, forget the fact that she might win. By how much? You know?
I think she'll win by 10 million votes. She'll win the popular vote by over 10 million votes.
I think you're wrong about that.
Well, we'll see.
I mean, you know, from your voice to God's ears, you know.
You guys ought to make a bet of $1,000 or something like that.
You make a bet of $1,000.
Yeah.
No, I agree with you, Charlie. So.
You know, I mean, no, but I'm saying that, you know, that what do you think, Mark? What's your take on how it's going?
Crystal ball time. Honestly, Alex, I don't know. And that's what's bothering me because, yes, I was thinking the same observation is that, how do I put this bluntly? We got a lot of stupid people out there. And it's like, I mean, we got the marching morons. Mm-hmm. And I got this bad feeling that, yeah, you know, I'm hoping it goes the other way, but what was it? Prepare for a bumpy ride if it doesn't, you know, and I'm actually thinking about pulling the trigger on, because of my mom and my grandparents, getting a German citizenship.
Really?
Yep.
Why German? Why not British? Why not
because
French?
My mom was displaced from Germany in 1936, and there's a little law that any kid who wants to become a German citizen or dual citizenship has that ability. Because, you know, it's like, great. The irony is that Germany is more democratic than the United States.
Yeah.
Boy, there's irony for you.
Yeah.
And the food's pretty good too. But I really thought, Alex, at this point in my life, things would have gotten a little better. And I'm thinking from the perspective being old enough at a very young age to understand what was going on with Nixon, you know, you know, it's like, well, it's got to get better, you know, and then it's like up and down, up and down, up and down. Now it's like down. It's like, oh, come on. This is the one thing we shouldn't have to be worried about.
Well, you know, my old joke was that, you know, now that, you know, Trump is here, Bush doesn't look so bad. In fact, as a matter
of that in 2016.
As a matter of fact, Reagan doesn't look as bad. As a matter of fact, Nixon doesn't look that bad by comparison. In fact, Hitler doesn't look that bad by comparison. You know, I mean, it's just that I don't believe we've gotten to this point where people will believe somebody like this who is playing on their basest fears to begin with. You know, this whole thing about the immigrants are out to get your jobs, they're going to rape your women, you know, your cities are unsafe because of them. There's nothing there's no proof to that. You know,
it's the immigrants of the new communism.
Well, it's the old belling of the cat routine that I keep talking about, and he's telling you there's a mouse outside, there's a cat outside the mouse hole, and if you elect him president, he will bell the mouse, bell the cat. Excuse me, don't bell the mouse. That's essentially what he's using. He's living on a basic fear. A fear of foreign people. You know, since when has this country been afraid of foreign people? We embrace foreign people. This was a country where
Unless they're Chinese.
I think he's got
Or
a fear of
Japanese.
going to jail.
What? What'd you
I
say?
think he's got a fear of going to jail.
Oh, he
Yeah.
no. If he doesn't win this election, he's toast. You know,
Yep.
the 22nd of November, they're going to sentence him. You know.
Yeah.
Life.
Life, yeah.
No.
Slap on the hand. Don't do that again, Don.
No, they'll probably give him a couple of years, I guess. Maybe maybe they'll.
He does. Other than his things that happened in New York, the convictions. Before that, he was an unconvicted person. He's 78 or 79 years old. Former president of the United States. I can't see them putting him in prison. It's a shame. I'd love to see him in prison, but I just can't see him doing it.
Hey, he did something illegal.
Yep.
I'd go to prison, even at my age.
You're only Alex Bennett,
You know, at my age, I'd go to prison.
Maybe.
You know.
They take things into consideration in courts, criminal history.
Yeah, so much for the BS about
age and stuff like that. So I'm not sure,
What about his hairdresser?
You probably wouldn't have had the money to get 32 or 34 convictions against you anyhow. So
It's amazing with all the money he had, he couldn't get better lawyers.
that's for sure.
You know.
that was his own
I don't think I want to take it though.
Oh, Tony's here.
I wonder if the lawyers don't want to even take his case. Like, if I was a lawyer, would I even want to? I wouldn't want to involve myself with him. I think.
No, you want to get
Giuliani
paid,
just
and his lawyers.
Yeah,
haven't
but like you said,
gotten paid.
I don't even know if I'd want his money though. If I was, I wouldn't even want to be. I wouldn't even want to be associated with this guy. Like,
Well, look how many of his lawyers got disbarred.
Yep. Look at Rudy Giuliani.
Well,
losing all his assets.
I was going to bring up Rudy Giuliani. Okay, here's a guy who went to the wall for Donald Trump. Okay, so much so that he committed crimes doing so. He got convicted, and he has no money left. They've taken all his money away because he got sued by those women. So that, all I'm saying is that we've got a situation here where he's just, Rudy Giuliani is literally a trashed human being, okay? Yep. And what is his pal? What is the guy he did this all for, Donald Trump, doing to bail him out?
Nothing.
And if he has the billions he says he has, he could bail Giuliani out just by, giving him pocket lint.
Yeah.
But he hasn't. And yet this guy gets up at a rally in Madison Square Garden and speaks on his behalf. I would tell him to go fuck himself.
hey, Alex.
Yeah.
Rudy is such a shitbag. He's selling coffee now.
Good.
May he rot in hell.
No, I want that coffee. I want that coffee. It's
You think
got to
he
be
said he got
good
a bite?
coffee.
Want to buy the box?
It's from
I'm
Donald
afraid to give
Trump.
him money,
It's good
Alex,
coffee.
though.
Hi, Amy.
Hi.
Yes.
That's what in your monologue between
spit on you, Rudy.
Larry and the show. You said, "I might as well shut this down. Nobody's here, and Amy's not going to be here."
I didn't say Amy's not going to be here.
Yeah.
I mean, he's talking about the interstate.
I know that what he was talking about, but
No,
I
Amy
knew
is not
that
going to be here tonight.
yes, she is. She's here right now.
Well, I don't know if she's going to do a show tonight, but
I don't know about that either.
No, I'm not doing a show tonight. I am barely awake, but I wanted to check in.
Yeah, there's still elections tomorrow. There's still early elections.
Oh,
tomorrow. No. Early voting ended tonight, but I have just worked 12 straight days, and all but Sunday was a 14-hour day.
Wow.
Really?
Look at all the pay you're getting.
And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, it took her that much to fix this election.
How you doing? I hope it's on our side.
We had a gunman. We had a gunman at my polling place. The one day I wasn't there, I was homesick with bronchitis on just allergic bronchitis, nothing serious.
Yeah.
On Friday last week. And one of my clerks sends me a screenshot of a Facebook post. Schools in Lantana. So let me tell you what Lantana is. Lantana is a country club McMansion community.
Okay.
Now, for folks in New York and California, I'm going to tell you those homes are $600,000. But for $600,000, you get a McMansion with a swimming pool and all that. These are big, giant, fancy homes. This is not the barrio. This is not the ghetto. This is not.
Yeah, we get your point. Yeah,
This
we
is where the
understand.
poor come to rob you.
So a guy shows up there, and he's in the parking lot of the Lantana Community Center where we're having early voting, and he's waving a gun around, pointing it at the voters that are outside that either just came out from voting or about to go in. And so they locked down all the schools in Lantana. And they had like 5 police cars. All this happened the one day I wasn't there.
Well, as many people as have guns, they're civilians. Why didn't somebody just shoot them? Don't even need to call the police.
Well, we don't do that in America here.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's
They do in Texas.
Yeah, they do.
It must be driving you crazy down in Florida,
When they
isn't
come
it?
Yeah, he wants to move to Germany now from Florida. I don't blame him.
Isn't it, Mark? I mean,
Talk's a nice area down there.
hold on a second. I'm talking to Mark.
I'm sorry.
Mark, how is being in Florida right now? I mean, well, to begin with, you were in the middle of that storm, right?
I don't want to go into it.
You don't want
It's like I've been through a lot worse, and this one was even worse for other reasons. And it's like I'm still like, what the hell was that?
What do you mean worse for other reasons?
The electrical grid down here got so screwed up that we were experiencing brownouts and full blackouts, and it's still like we're still getting that effect. And it's never been this bad, and so you need electricity down here. Simple fact.
Yeah, right.
So, I mean, there was no damage or anything like that, but boy.
Because I heard about your area and they kept saying there were problems down there,
But it wasn't like Irma or Wilma. That's the weird thing. I mean, but this time it was the electrical grid that really suffered more than anything else. Now, I'm not saying people didn't get damaged. Yeah, people did. It happens. But wow, this was like as bad as the summer of '96 in New York, where you had the rolling blackouts. It was worse than that. It was like, what the hell?
Gee, you get that, and on top of it, you have DeSantis. Wow, is that a double whammy?
The shithead, yeah.
And Trump lives there.
You know something, Mark? If you move to Germany, their power system's good. They won't have a lot of school shootings there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. And the trains probably run on time too.
Probably.
I've heard all the jokes.
No jokes.
Yeah.
There's less fascism.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, how about that?
Really.
You feel safer as a Jew there than you do in Florida.
Right.
Yeah, and
that's sad.
My 94-year-old mom, born in Berlin in 1930. I'm the son of it. I'm a son of a German Jew.
She got out of there in time, right?
Yeah, she did.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and don't think the irony's not lost on me.
Well, my father was born in Germany. But they got here in I think 1920, 1921, somewhere around there. So they missed all of that. All right. But
He probably came over on the same boat as my grandparents. They came here around that.
Probably. My mother and my father came over and were at Ellis Island. And my grandfather and my other uncle, who was alive at the time, came through the West Coast, which was a whole different thing. But if you came by the West Coast, you probably didn't have the same problems you had trying to get in, like you did at Ellis Island. Because if you didn't have money, you didn't have a lot of money, and you couldn't buy it, you had to go to Ellis Island. Otherwise, they'd leave you off in Manhattan. So.
This is the most Jews this program's ever had on it at one time.
Well, on my mother's side, my grandparents were born in Texas.
Oh, well, that's not Jewish then.
Yeah. Really.
Well, my great grandfather on my mother's side was the first rabbi with shmicha to settle in the state of Texas. So I think that's pretty. And my great grandfather on her father's side was part of the Galveston movement that helped the Jews from Eastern Europe come in through the port of Galveston.
Yeah. But anyway, Tom?
Yeah.
What do you think about next week?
Tom's voice is higher.
I'm cautiously optimistic. I've been feeling better.
You're feeling better?
I've been feeling better.
Why were you feeling not better?
Well, I mean, just like everybody else,
Why is it close?
Mm-hmm.
Well, but as I said, a lot of news that's coming out, especially about early voting, being predominantly women, and a lot of people are publicly saying that they've come off the fence and into the Harris camp. So, as I said, I'm getting optimistic, but at the same time still working. We're still keep doing it.
When people say who they're going to vote for to the pollsters aren't taking into consideration, will they get out? Do they have the enthusiasm to get out and vote? I don't think the Trump people are as enthusiastic about voting as the Democrats are. And I think that's a major factor. I think that when it comes down to it, they can yell MAGA and they can go to his comedy shows or whatever those things are. But when it comes down to it, they may not get out and vote. But I do know that those women are going to get out and vote. And those Democrats are going to get out and vote, I mean, how many of you are Democrats and how many of you got your vote in already? How many already voted? So, it's I wish we had a couple of Republicans here. We could say, have you voted yet, and get a little bit of mixture in there. Yes, Amy.
So a bit of good news for you that is not being reported, but something I saw during early voting. An extraordinary number of first-time voters, people who just turned 18 since the last election. And I can't tell you how many people, a lot of people coming in with the whole family, and mothers coming in with their sons and daughters going, this is their first time to vote. We had one mother who drove up to Oklahoma City, which is about a 3-hour drive, to pick up her daughter to bring her to vote.
Yeah.
So that's good news for us, I think. Those could have all been Republicans, but I doubt it.
They're not polling colleges. And a lot of colleges, this is the first time these kids have ever voted in a major election.
Well, some of these kids are still in high school.
Yeah, 18-year-olds can be seniors, yeah.
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 Oh, yeah, that's true.
Oh, well, let's go out and get the high school vote.
I mean, Tony's still in high school.
Yeah, I had a couple of women that drove up to 4 hours today so they can vote at our polling place from Texas A&M, which is in Bryan College
Well, wait a
Station.
minute. There
That's
wasn't
a long
anywhere down there that they could vote?
They were registered in Denton County.
Okay, so you have to vote where you're registered.
Well, what you can do during early voting is you can vote a limited ballot.
Mm-hmm.
If so, a limited ballot means that you just get the statewide races, but you can't vote, for your member, state house, state senate, Congress. But you can vote for Senate and president and railroad commissioner and that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Railroad commissioner.
Ah. Is that
Which has nothing to do with the railroad, by the way.
Wait a
For
minute.
folks not from
Texas.
Texas.
Back up here. Wait a minute. Railroad commissioner has nothing to do with railroads?
Nope.
Nope. It has to do with energy transmission.
Yeah.
It's sort of like being.
And it's one of the most powerful offices in the state of Texas.
Yeah, it's sort of like being head of the PUC, like something like that, right?
Yeah, except we have one of those too.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. But anyway, so, I just, I've been, tonight I got depressed about it. I just said, it's like, I felt that Kamala had a real head of steam going for her. And that seems to have eroded quite a bit.
When she started,
seemed like that not only lips and she's just having record-breaking crowds. She just finished Nevada. And
does record-breaking crowds translate into winning the presidency?
I think
or
so.
does it just mean people were enthusiastic enough to show up for you? I mean,
if they're enthusiastic enough to show up at your rally, they are definitely voting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's see. What kind of crowds is Trump getting lately? Are they less?
Oh, a lot less.
A lot less. And he's not getting. She had J-Lo last night.
I don't think that matters.
I think it does.
To begin with,
she's got a lot of fans.
To begin with, okay. So hey,
someone who is Puerto Rican. So someone who is Puerto Rican, who reminds the audience of what Trump's warm-up act said about Puerto Ricans.
Yeah.
Well, I think in Texas.
Yeah, there was a
hold on a second. In Texas last week, they had Beyonce, right?
Beyonce and Willie Nelson.
Okay. Neither of which performed.
Well, there's a rapper that was all pro-Trump until this Puerto Rican thing came out. Now he's throwing all his people.
Well, because
he was on stage with Trump like a couple of months ago, and now he has turned.
That was the guy that Trump thought was a woman. Do you remember?
Fat Joe? Fat Joe?
What?
No,
What did you say?
It was funny.
I think it was Fat Joe.
Fat Joe? No.
That's not a very good rap name. You'll never make it with that
He
name.
lost weight, Fat Joe.
You got to be Elon Musk or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, Elon Musk, by the way, this is interesting. This is in, let's see here. Where is, here it is. Trump simply, this is this is a new low for Donald Trump. Okay. This is on Drudge Report. It says, Trump simulates oral sex on stage.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
No. That's jerking off two people at the same time. That one.
It's a different thing.
But how does he simulate blowing?
Well, he opens his mouth real wide when he's doing this motion,
This is the president.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, I don't know. But the rapper's name was Nicky Jam.
There you go.
But he jerked off the microphone and then he put his mouth down towards the microphone like he was blowing it. Wow.
I feel so sorry for that microphone.
Did it seem like he's done it before? Hey, did you hear Elon Musk is making his sperm available to anybody who wants it?
Yeah.
He's got like 12 kids, right? I think, right?
He's got 11 kids.
11. Okay, was off by one.
Yeah, but the other thing about the Trump about the Drudge Report is there was one other item, and I was going to look for it until I saw the thing about oral sex on stage.
So that happened tonight?
What happened to Drudge?
It happened
Drudge
tonight.
is hard right wing.
The hell?
That's Adrian. She's yeah. She wants our attention.
Did she vote for Trump, Brian?
Let me see here. I'm trying to remember where I saw it. It seems as though Elon Musk has said that Trump would be he just put out a thing that said Trump would be bad for the economy.
No, I think no.
That was Mark Cuban.
Hmm?
That was Mark Cuban.
Mark Cuban.
No, this
actually,
was Elon Musk.
What Elon Musk said was, first thing that Trump said he was going to put Musk in charge of cutting, was it $2 billion? Some I think $2 billion or $2 trillion from the budget from spending. And so when he was making the announcement that he was going to do that, he says, "Well, it's definitely going to cause some economic pain for people in the short run."
Yeah, it says Elon Musk predicts hardship, economic turmoil, and a stock market crash if Trump wins.
Yeah,
that's the headline. That's on Market Watch.
That'd be busy.
Well, I'll tell you, his stock this week has been dropping.
Yeah,
$14 today.
Oh, really?
Really?
Yeah, something like that. I'll get the exact amount here.
Wow, I just watched the video of Trump doing oral sex on the mic.
Yeah.
It's quite disgusting.
Yeah.
He actually did it. It's real. He did it.
He lost $5.
I mean, how can a Christian vote for this guy?
Christians like to suck
that's the depressing thing that I saw this week. An awful lot of crosses, and somebody had
somebody had a crucifix at the rally. The sanitation guy.
Yeah,
too bad it didn't work.
Like the exorcist. I'm saying,
no, did you notice?
Somebody had some I voted stickers. Only they said I prayed. That their church gave out.
Do you ever notice? Do you ever go over to Fox? You ever watch Fox? Because I go over there every now and then because it's like going into Bizarro World.
It is Bizarro World, yeah.
You know? It's like a whole different set of values and everything.
Yeah.
And when you go over there and you watch that show with all the women on it, outnumbered, they're all wearing crosses.
What is that?
Big deal now is to wear crosses to show that you're, I don't know,
Christian
advocate or whatever. I don't know.
It's so fucking gross.
I think it's
we put a sign out 100 foot from the door, 2 signs out 100 feet from the door.
Yeah.
That says polling distance marker.
Mm-hmm.
And you are not supposed to do any electioneering, no signs, no nothing within that 100 foot.
Right.
Never once did I have to tell a Harris supporter to remove your hat or go turn your shirt inside out. But I cannot tell you how many goddamn Trump supporters came in the polling place with Trump shirts and Trump hats, lots of Trump hats, all this stuff. And one guy, I said, "Sir, you're going to have to go turn your shirt inside out. There's a bathroom down the hall." And he said, "Why? Did I trigger you?" Sir, you're breaking the law.
Yeah, you're stupid.
What about, Amy, what about Ted Cruz? Is he on his way out?
I don't know. It is neck and neck. It could happen.
Yeah, that'd be great,
I
Alex.
mean, I don't want to get my hopes too high, but
He wants to go on vacation so much it could be permanent, really, now.
Yeah. Go to Cancun, Ted. Yeah.
Send him back to Cancun.
Well, the Cancun deal may have sealed his fate because the people in Texas are down on him still to this day for that. You'd think after how many years now they've forgotten it, but they really haven't.
Well, as Charlie can tell you, Snowmageddon was pretty bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is that?
That was when snow hit Texas, and
the grid went out.
And yeah.
Oh yeah.
And
they're not connected to the national grid.
And so Ted Cruz decided to take that moment to go to Cancun.
Oh.
And left his dog. Left his little puppy dog.
Oh, I remember now.
Freezing cold house. People were dying all over the state. The people. Charlie was without heat and water.
Yeah, it's not the time. Let me put it this way:
Somebody was nice enough to send Charlie a battery pack.
Yeah, that was the next time. The one that was the one where I had nothing.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was fortunate. I had just rolling blackouts, so we'd get like 45 minutes of electricity and then 2 or 3 hours without it.
96 hours without 1 kilowatt hour of electricity.
And then they sent
down to 32 degrees in my apartment.
They send you a bill.
Electricity.
And then they sent you a bill for the electricity, right?
And then the bill for electricity is the highest bill I ever got.
Really? Really?
They jacked up the prices. That was legal in Texas.
Mm-hmm. You should see some of the people in like Irving and some of these other places. City of Denton has its own power plant. We have our own. We own our own energy plants. We have our own windmills and all kind of stuff. And so we didn't. It wasn't as bad as where Charlie is.
Yeah. So anyway, so we're it's almost over, and whatever way it turns out, and it's just sad that we even have to question as to who's going to win this. I mean, it's just idiocy, complete idiocy, and I got to say this. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I have never been that proud to be an American. All my life. Well, not all my life. When I was a kid, I didn't know better. But then I, went and saw that thing I've told you about at the House Un-American Activities subcommittee that I went to when I was, 13, 14. And at that point, I realized that I wasn't living in the country I'd been taught about in school. That I saw a guy who I listened to every morning on the radio have his career ruined in about 5 minutes. And after that, I decided that, I had to question really what the values of this country were. And I've always had kind of a negative attitude about the country and not the same pride in being an American that I would like to have. And this only amplifies that. I mean, at the other end of my life where, how many more years do I have left? But at the other end of my life, here I am asking the same questions about what kind of country are we living in where this could even happen. I could see a lot of other Republicans running and people backing those Republicans, but none of those would be like Trump is, which is a totally morally corrupt human being who has no morals whatsoever and doesn't care how he wins this election. And he's using every fascist trick in the book to try and win it by, once again, throwing out this whole thing about creating xenophobia in this country, and that you would think that things are so bad that you're going to get raped tomorrow by a Mexican, you know?
Or a microphone.
I should have such luck.
Or a microphone, yeah. Right.
That was good, Tom.
The worst thing a Mexican's going to do is deliver my pizza right now. That's about it.
Yeah. But I mean,
They
I
just want to work, I would imagine, Alex. They just
also deliver Chinese food, Tony, in your neighborhood.
I love that they said, we're gonna build a bunch of affordable housing, but we're gonna deport all the people that build the affordable housing.
Yeah.
Or pick the fruit too. Well, pick the fruit too, I would imagine. That's not.
Oh yeah.
Oh, the whole.
Yeah, here in the Central Valley and in Florida.
Oddly enough, if we start deporting people like he wants to by the millions, the whole economy of this country is going to just absolutely tank.
Yep.
Now, because we rely on those people, believe it or not, to take the jobs that nobody else wants.
It's true, really. I mean,
who does?
You think he could really? Could he really do it? You think?
I don't know. I was going to ask you that, right? How was we to do it? How did he do it, Ray? Like, he has no plans for anything. Alex, he just says this to get elected, and it's all bullshit with him. Really, he doesn't have plans.
But they do have people. The people that put together Project 2025. Those people are ready and waiting to get into place and put this bullshit in place.
Yeah.
And track women's pregnancies and shit.
Don, you're 15 minutes early.
Hello, Don. How are you? Don Giller got here early.
He must have
early.
Yeah, I haven't seen him. Haven't seen him in a couple of weeks. You must have been busy, right, Don?
I'm tired of people griping.
You're tired of people griping about what?
It's going to be a blowout.
I agree.
Yeah.
Someone had mentioned that early voting is through the roof.
Yeah.
And it's already put Trump at a disadvantage.
Yep.
Stephen Miller is going berserk, predicting World War III and a winter. What's the I forget? Anyway,
nuclear winter.
Yeah, nuclear winter.
Yeah, it could be, yeah.
Because they know they're losing.
Yeah,
he's got the lawsuits in it too. Really.
The only state of which there's a concern is Nevada.
Yeah.
John Ralston, who is the Nevada guy for keeping track of this stuff, he's concerned. He's dedicated to the numbers and the early voting. Clark County is underperforming, and
Las Vegas is in Clark County.
Yeah,
he's gonna post something later tonight because new numbers came in. So what I'm saying may be either outdated or reinforced.
It's the only state I know of that's calling out the National Guard.
Well, it's Las Vegas.
Nevada for.
But she's going to win She's going to win Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin,
That's what we need,
and with just those three states, not even counting North Carolina or Georgia, or Arizona or Nevada, she's got 270.
Yeah.
Okay, but what happens with the? You said there's a factor with Nevada.
But she won't need it.
She won't need it. Okay.
It's only 11 electoral college votes.
Yeah.
Right.
Although Jackie Rosen might need it. Yes, that's a big.
It'll probably go to RFK.
But if we get Ted Cruz out and get Colin Allred in, then
but we also remember we're losing Manchin.
Yeah, but we are losing Manchin.
What a great loss.
No, wait a minute.
Well, but he was still a Democratic.
Rick Scott is behind in the polls in Florida.
Yeah, that's a possibility.
He may lose that
Florida.
seat.
But what's interesting is, what's going to happen with the down ballot stuff. I mean, let's say Kamala wins the presidency. But if she doesn't have the Senate and the Congress, she's going to be sitting there with her finger up her butt. You know,
Well,
I mean,
she'll get the House.
think I think she'll get the House. I think she might keep the Senate too. I think we might keep the Senate.
if she,
Like I said,
it's gonna be
Ted
tough.
Cruz is in danger.
Yeah, but they're going to lose West Virginia. They're going to lose Montana. They'll keep Ohio. It's not good. I think they'll lose the Senate. But I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't see. And this Scott poll, it's the first I've heard of it. So maybe you're right, but I'd like to see that as well.
Yep.
yeah.
I mean,
Well, the thing is, if Trump loses, which I think he will, it's going to go on for months. He's going to use everything he can to try to manipulate whatever he can in the electoral college.
But
I tell you what they're gonna claim, because they come into my polling place every day and claim this. They're saying that the voting machines are flipping votes.
Yeah.
Well, that's
And I'm
actually
like,
happened. And that machine has been replaced. There's video that's gone viral of somebody trying to press the Trump button and nothing's happening, and he does it so many times and it suddenly automatically switches to Harris.
Oh, jeez.
And he pointed it out, and it was investigated, and they pulled the machine. So that's a legitimate
but
problem.
That was like one machine, though.
It was one machine.
One machine.
and it was not in Denton County.
Well, there's always
Because
gonna be-
ours don't work that way. Ours, you hand mark a paper ballot and then feed it into a scanner.
The difference between 2020 and today is that in 2020, Trump was president and had the levers of government. He doesn't have that now. So he's not going to have the sort of pull and power that we're all attributing to him when he loses. Yeah, he'll raise a fuss. He'll always raise a fuss, but you're not going to see him give a pre-riot speech.
Well, it could stall.
In Washington.
It could stall the election, however.
But it won't. It's so much bark and so little bite. It's not.
But remember what happened with the Gore election. Okay, it wasn't until what, February, that we finally
December, mid-December.
Was it December? Okay.
Right.
Can you believe we've been talking about this guy for over 9 freaking years?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Well, you got to hand it to him. He knows how to keep himself in the daily dialogue.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's been his great talent. Every day he will say something ridiculous. Today he blew a microphone, okay? They're going to be talking about him blowing the microphone all day tomorrow on MSNBC. If he does win, it's going to be MSNBC that got him elected, by the way.
But he's not going to win, so stop talking like that.
Okay, I'll stop talking like that, because if you say so, Geller, I'm taking it to the bank.
Because I could use the dough.
Yeah, I know you could.
No, it's just better, I think, to feel positive about this. And if Harris loses, then we'll get depressed. But there's no point in getting depressed now.
Well, Marjorie said to me, gee, it doesn't look good for Harris. I said, it's 50-50. Either, it could go either way. I said, so think positively. It probably is going to go Harris's way. But I think there's an element here that the pollsters are just not able to poll and not able to catch and report. And I think that's going to be what's going to be the toss-up in this whole thing.
That's why I go with Alan Lichtman.
Yeah, I love Alan.
And the Siena polls.
Yeah.
Well, here's the other thing that got very little attention during the Trump trial, where he got convicted on 34 felonies.
Marist poll. Sorry.
Marist poll.
I'm sorry.
How's she doing in the Marist poll, by the way?
Well, I'm interrupting.
How's she doing in the Marist poll?
Amy was in the middle of something.
She's doing great. They released a poll at midnight last night. She's ahead again in the Rust Belt in every state, and that to me that's the closer.
Okay, all right. Anyway, as you were saying, Amy.
Yeah, sorry, Amy.
So something that got very little attention during that trial was the testimony was given that they were paying for positive polling. They have been flooding the zone
Oh yeah.
with positive Trump polls. They're fake polls, but they're putting them out there. They're paying for positive data.
Maris, one of Maris' polls is Harris leads among those who have already voted. Arizona, she's up 9 to 12 points.
Wow.
Georgia, 7 to 10 points.
There you go.
Michigan, 26 to 39 points. North Carolina, 2 to 6 points. Pennsylvania, 17 to 35 points. Wisconsin, 22 to 60 points. This is early voting results.
Wow.
So, like I say, this is going to be a blowout. And to worry and to fret as we, Rick Wilson, who I think he's a great writer. I don't know if you know who he is. He's a former Republican. He's pleading with. I'm sorry.
The Lincoln Project.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
He wrote an essay. Stop drinking the poison. Don't believe this crap because you're all being manipulated. You'll do your heart, you'll do your blood pressure a lot better if you just assume she's going to win and she's going to win handily, because there's no point in getting stressed out before the vote.
Well, there was a very good article written by Monica Lewinsky about how to. Did you see it?
How to do microphones?
No. Did you see it, Mark? What she
Yes,
wrote?
I was like, I was like, is this The Onion? What? I'm like, oh my God, it's real.
Yeah, Monica Lewinsky wrote an article, and I don't know where it was in the Times or whatever, in which she said, here's how you're going to get through this. And she gave you a list of things to do so you wouldn't get all upset, Monica's become a pretty good writer, so.
Vanity Fair. She wrote it in Vanity Fair.
Vanity Fair? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I got plenty of alcohol on hand.
I'm going to order that on Tuesday.
Yeah? You got alcohol? I don't have alcohol.
I don't drink either, Alex. My brother
I got a lot of pot here, though. So
Can I
Tony's got a lot of coffee.
I drink coffee. Yeah.
I got whiskey.
Yeah.
I got Jim Beam.
Come on over. I got French champagne.
My problem is
I remember 2016. I'm driving home from. I was the presiding judge on Election Day 2016. I'm driving home and I'm hearing Trump is winning. And I pulled in and I got a bunch of ice cream and I got home and I filled a giant mug with ice cream and alcohol. And then called into Alex's program. What the fuck just happened?
I was working the polls that night.
Yeah. Well, I remember.
We got another hour since Amy's not doing a show tonight.
I'm tired. I'm tired.
We're not, though.
And I'm sure Amy would like to take the night off, too. So.
I haven't. 12 days, 14 hours a day.
Yeah.
So you're going to be on next Tuesday night, Alex? What
I'll
time?
be on next Tuesday night, yeah. And I may do Wednesday, but I don't know. If it isn't finished, if it isn't settled yet, I will probably do Wednesday as well. But then we're leaving on Thursday.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You're going to Paris.
Yeah. So
if Trump wins, you can just stay there.
Well, that's what I'm planning on doing. I'll have no reason to come back.
If North Carolina goes for Harris Tuesday night, it's over.
Yeah, I think. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
yeah.
right. What if they go?
I won't be here next Friday night because it'll be the rehearsal dinner for my son getting married on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, you're sure taking off a lot of time.
Yeah.
You're going to get deducted on your Gabnet.
Yeah, but what I was doing, I was getting paid for. Well, I won't be getting paid for the rehearsal dinner. I'm paying big bucks for that. Probably a lot more than I'm getting paid
wait a
for
minute.
doing.
I got to start the theme here. There we go. Hey, listen, nice of you to all join me. Join me again. We'll be on Monday with the pop-up show, and then we'll be here on Tuesday night at same time, 10:30. Eastern time, and it will probably go till midnight. But if it isn't over yet, maybe we'll keep going. We'll just wait and see how it all goes. But by the time we go on, the West Coast will probably just be closing down. So, we will have some real idea of what's going on. So please join me then. And I guess that's it. Everybody give a big wave goodbye, and I'll give a big wave goodbye at you. There they go, folks. That's our citizen panel for tonight. Let me just, there we go. Anyway, thank you. Thank you. By the way, everybody, I forgot to say goodbye to everybody. Hold on a second. Let me go back here. Where do we go? Let me say goodbye to, I didn't say goodbye to Jeff, and I didn't say goodbye to Alan, and I didn't say goodbye to Charlie, and to Tom Yamaguchi, and Mark Thorner, Don Gillard. Mark, call more often. I love having you here. When you can, okay? Just do it.
What about me?
You too, Ray, and you too, Amy, and you too, Don Giller, and Brian was here, and who else was here? And Tony. Okay, everybody give a big wave goodbye. Now we'll do it the right way, okay? There they go, ladies and gentlemen. That's our citizen panel for tonight. I'll see you again on Monday, right here with the at 4 o'clock on Monday on what do you call it? Facebook for the pop-up show. In the meantime, as always, if you see her, you know what to do. Tell her I love her, okay? Bye-bye, everybody.